I don't think I'm going to break any Twitter feeds here by saying this, but the Flyers are in a rebuild, and they desperately need high-end talent. But with everything on the table this offseason and no player off limits, let's take a look at Scott Laughton and why the Flyers should maybe keep him around during the rebuild. Going into next season, he will be entering the third year of a very team-friendly 5-year, $15 million contract he signed in 2021. Lawton was drafted in the first round, 20th overall by the Flyers in the 2012 NHL entry-level draft. So where does the 28-year-old forward fit into the Flyers' future? Well, first, we need a reference of a timeline. Let's look at the Chicago Blackhawks rebuild in the 2000s. From 2002 to 2007, the Blackhawks drafted a young core of Duncan Keith, Corey Crawford, Patrick Kane, and Jonathan Toews, winning the Stanley Cup in 2010. Using that very depressing timeline for Flyers fans out there, Scott Laughton would be in his mid-30s and exiting his prime by the time the Flyers are ready to compete. So shouldn't the Flyers move on and sell high on Scott Laughton now? Let's pump the brakes on the idea of a trade for a second. Laughton's professionalism, leadership, and unique skill set can help the Flyers down the road when they try to get younger. Younger prospects will need veteran leadership as they develop and learn how to be full-time NHL professionals. And you don't have to look very far into the future to see his impact on young players. Take Noah Cates, for example. He said this in October about Scott Laughton's leadership and playing style.
Such an important player and a guy, honestly, I can model my game after and be very similar to. Just with his versatility, his killing, not from play, different things, his little details. So that's huge for me to watch every night.
He leads all Flyers forwards in special teams time, playing in all situations, on the power play and penalty kill. His passion and dedication to the Flyers organization can also not be questioned.
It means the world to me, honestly. I have a deep care for this organization and the people in it, so I love being a Flyer, and we got to get this thing back on track, and I think we will.
He's having a career season in just about every major category. Career highs in goals, points, and assists. So while the Flyers could sell high on Lawton for future draft capital and assets, other options on the roster could fetch more in return in terms of acquiring high-end talent. So while Scott Laughton might not light up the score sheet every night, his professionalism and leadership on and off the ice can be invaluable to a rebuilding franchise that is getting younger and looking for an identity.